Hi, my name is Mark. This is my 2018 Porsche Panamera. I've owned Porsches in the past, but this is the first time owning a modern car. I'm going to go through what a pain in the butt it is to do some general maintenance on this thing, how awesome of a car it is, of course, and we'll talk about the tools you might need and what you'll have to do and what the dealers don't tell you, all the hidden secrets. I've learned it all the hard way, so you don't have to. All right, here's a tour of the car. All right, so this is my Panamera 2018 4S. Pretty sweet. It's got the upgraded brakes, wheels, very understated. Tinted windows came with it. 24-gallon gigantic gas tank, which they don't tell you about. Give you a tour shot of the back end of the car here. Giant trunk. It's just awesome. It's the back end of the car. I was fixing a flat before, so I had to put the car in jack mode, and I'll show you how to do that too. You have to disable the self-leveling option if you're going to jack it up. So I jacked it up and fixed that back tire. It had a slow leak in it. On the ramps, you don't have to do the self-leveling option. I have it on lift mode, so it's in like kind of four-wheel drive mode. And then you'll see here in the front, took this baby apart. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll show you where all the screws and bolts were for this thing. It was a nightmare. Thank you to the people that put previous videos, but an amalgam of kind of all these videos got me to see how this thing goes apart, goes back together. Wasn't too terrible. There's the air filter there, a lot of leaves in there. You just have to know where every screw is and have the right pieces, so we'll talk about that as well. When I got this car, I thought it might have been a little underpowered, even though I have the 4S, which is a V6 2.9 liter twin turbo, bi-turbo. It was a little sluggish off the line, so I'll tell you some of the modifications I made that were bolt-on that definitely changed the performance of this car for me. I'll tell you about some of the fuel system cleaners I used that definitely helped without question, and making this thing much quicker off the line. I'll talk about the anti-turbo lag technology this thing has and all that kind of stuff. Just bear with me. So we'll get this front end back on and I'll film this process for you, so you won't have to guess like I did. All right, here you go. Bye. Okay, so here was the air filter. It's a rather large one. Let you see there. You can see, and this piece here especially, nice and long. Good 3 feet. The stock one was fine. It hadn't been changed in a while, it looks like, because I don't think a lot of people like taking off the whole front end just to change the air filter. But here was the old one. Not horrible. You know, social oil, stuff like that. This thing definitely sucked up leaves. I traded it for a BMC high performance. This is comparable to, let me show you here, sorry, my camera. I'm a bad camera person. There you go. That's the BMC, which is comparable to the K&N, the old one, new one, much thinner. You can tell it can do more airflow, and this is also washable, even though hopefully I won't have to take this thing off for a long time because it's a pain. So anyway, here we go. Yeah, I don't think we need the sticker, even though I know each sticker adds a little bit of horsepower. Pop that right in there. I don't think it matters which way is up. Make sure it's sitting down there nicely. You can tell the quality of this thing is really good. I'm going to put the camera down so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Alright, hopefully my camera is not going to fall inside the engine, which would suck. Okay, so I have that thing fitted in here. You want to make sure it's seated all the way around. Obviously, it's got to make a seal. This one is a little tighter than the other one. Okay. That is in there well. It looks performance. We'll see if it is performance. Okay, get that down in there. Oh, camera just took a fall, guys. Sorry. Hold on. Let's flip this around, show you. Okay, got a bunch of Torx screws. Hold this thing in. See if I can do this while I'm filming. It's possible. Okay, so nice shot of the sky for y'all. I have the luxury of doing this in Connecticut, so the weather is perfect for this kind of driveway mechanic stuff. I'm gonna get the first screw in here. Okay. Okay, first screw in. Let's get these other guys in. One-handed mechanic is awesome. These are... Okay, so airbox bolts are... What are these guys? Torx what? What are you? They are Torx T20s for all these guys in the airbox. Okay. New air cleaner is in, nothing's rattling, it's still seated. That's a good thing. Let's see. Alright, so that's it. So now the next part, putting this thing back on. So I'll just kind of go through this and I'll do it while the wheel's off. So I put it up so I could reach the bolts underneath. Hardest bolts you're going to find to get to are going to be up here in the corner, and I'll tell you what kind they are. But there's one that goes up under here. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's one that goes through right there. That one's hard to get out. I think that is also a Torx 20, I believe, or actually it's a bigger size than that, but I'll tell you when I get over there and look. There's another one down here in the wheel well. Right there. And that's, I believe, is also a Torx 20 right here as well. It snaps in the front, you got to be careful. Luckily, you do not have to remove the headlights in this car to take off the front, that I found anyway. And I did not have to take any of the subframe off or any of the other structure off, thank God. I was able just to pull it off and then lift from the bottom first and then from the top middle, and this thing will pop off and you can just kind of lay it down. I checked, none of the wires are really stretched. I'm not worried about anything unplugged, but I'll make sure I check everything before I bolt everything up again. Same process on the other side, so you'll find that you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top. I think there's 12 on the bottom, and I'll tell you what those are too. So let's see what we got here. Yes, so those are Torx 30s and Torx 20 for almost all of these. Okay, I would highly recommend things that I had to buy, these flexible things, extensions, flexible, very, very useful in this car. Tell you what, I bought a Torx set on Amazon. Not too expensive. I bought trim removal kit, which is very important in this car. And of course a good flashlight with a magnet. Alright, so I'm going to put this thing down and I'm going to attempt to put this back together. Alright, I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Okay, all right, real time. I don't know, what was that, 20 minutes? Put that back on. You got to finesse this thing, man. You break clips, you're done. Okay, next steps. Oh boy, I'm old. Okay, it is on. So start replacing these bolts. All my Torx in here. So I'll stop the camera for a second and get this going. Okay, all the Torx bolts. Here we go. By the way, this is a great, can you see that? It's a great little brush to have for this car, for all the filters and stuff like that. I found on Amazon. A little thin brush like that. It's good for doing all the nooks and crannies of this car. Gets everything out good. I'd recommend it. I'll put a link up. All right, so these guys are, the fancy Torx for this front. These are Torx 50s, I believe. '30s. T30s on these top ones are the kind of shiny silver metal ones. There are 4, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4. This annoying tree right behind me that I pulled underneath, unfortunately. So. They don't get bitten by any weird tree bugs. I need one more bolt. Where are you? Come on. There you are. Snug these down. Make sure you don't over tighten these. Probably do these by hand, actually. I recommend. Okay, and now we're going to talk about these clips. I have these guys right here. These hold the headlights in. I'm going to see if I could show you where they are. It's a very difficult place to see. Alright, so we're going to put these guys over here, like so. And hopefully you can see where I'm going in here. So these clips kind of go with the curved side, with the hole inside. This is the part that you're going to be able to see. And I was able to get a pick in there, like this. Get it in there and yank the thing out. As long as you're putting constant pressure on it, it goes in there. So I'm going to try to slide this back on. You can see it's just a friction clip. It goes right here. So I'm sorry for my head right in the way. Can't tell if I got it, but it feels like it's in there. So I'm going to try to push it back in with the same clip I removed it with. Well, let's find something better than that. Okay, that one went in. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay, not too shabby. Now I have 6,000 other ones to put in. I'll be good to go. Okay, going back in. This one is very, very difficult to see. I'm going to have to get something to pry it open, but this is the one that kind of goes up and in. You can't see it now, but I'm going to get a flashlight on and I'll show you guys in a second. All right, this is a tough one, but I'm using my flashlight to hold to kind of see that bolt up there. I don't know if you can see it. That is a pain to get to that thing. On my car, for some reason, it is a T50. I don't know if they put the right one back in there, but there's a little indent in there. It'll keep it flush. So let me try to get that thing threaded. And this does a lot to secure this bumper in place. Let's see if I can get this with you guys still watching here. I might have to use another hand. Hopefully not. See where these flexi things come in handy? Showing you. Trying to show you. There it is. And this has a little collar on it that should fit into this body hole here. Hopefully you can see that. Very difficult to get to, but I did it with the wheels on because I don't want to take this whole front end of this car apart. It's a pain. I'm going to leave that like that. And I'm going to hit it with the okay, like so. It's in there. Okay, the rest of them are external on this one, so I can take the flashlight out. I got one here, I got one down here, and I think those are just both Torx, whatever they are. Okay, that was a tough one. We're all back together. I got the front thing on. It's looking good. It's locked in. No scratches. I didn't break anything. Hallelujah. Okay, time for trim pieces and then to test. And I guess we'll know if there's an issue when I put the trim pieces back on. Okay, so let's see, trim pieces. Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna turn this stuff around. Okay, that's me. We're gonna try, see if we can show you the trim pieces, how they go back on. Let's see. Okay, here's all the trim pieces. They overlap with the front. So we're going to put the sides on first. Take off this rubber gasket. Put that back on here. Okay, so these will clip in down here. They have these snap-ins and on the sides. And they all overlap from the sides in. These clips are very kind of made to not break on the sides here, but they're very, very delicate, and some of them are definitely broken. So we had this car before and we had it serviced by barbarians. Okay, I think that's in. Tabs fit underneath. All tabs on this car everywhere. Put those tabs under. Like so. Those tabs in the hose. Like so. Okay, other side. Oh, it's very windy. Very, very windy. Okay, the little tabs here go underneath. And then on top, so they kind of fit in. Everything fits in like a puzzle. It's very well designed, this car. I'm very impressed by it so far. I had a Mazda before this, which I was super impressed by, that I modified the heck out of, which I wish I made more videos on, because who takes a Mazda 3 and turns it into a performance Mazda? Only me. Okay. Like so, we're snapped in. Okay, middle piece. Zoom, zoom. Hello. Okay, this one has downwards fitting tabs, so it slides in from the back to the front, like so. Snaps right in. These overlap on the top. There's another snap down here that I'm missing somewhere. Let's see. Okay, let's go in there. All right, that's good. Now, a bunch of these guys, and I use a pick tool to get these out. You definitely don't want to break these because they're hard to find, especially this quality. The Porsche ones are expensive. You pull this up, these come right out. All right, you push it back together. These are all over the place in the front. I think there's like 15 of these. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these total. Okay, popping these in. These can go back in by hand, no special tool needed. They can be pushed together a little bit to reduce the friction on them when they go back in. And I didn't lose any screws, which is awesome. That means everything went back where it's supposed to go. Okay, just like that, checking for extra pieces that I thought I might have lost, and I did not. Okay, that's good, good, good. Okay, all done. I would say that would take you about, I don't know, we'll call it an hour perhaps, I guess, to take off everything. I would watch a couple YouTube videos first. I think I pretty much covered everything to get that air filter out. Like I said, just be gentle, don't break up any tabs off. Make sure you have the tools, especially if you have a Porsche. If you don't have the right tools, you are in trouble. All right, a torque set at a very minimum. 3/8 inch, 1/4 inch drivers. Yeah, so anyway, there it is back together. I'm going to start it up, see if we get any trouble lights. Forgot the trim gasket, of course. Always forget the trim gasket. This thing is very high quality. Snaps on all the way around, kind of holds things together. Very easy to put back off and on. As I said, everything on this car that I found so far is very, very, very high quality. You know, I picked this car up for $57,000 with 52,000 miles on it. 2-owner car, light accident damage, but other than that, a clean bill of health. I think this car new retailed when I saw the sticker was $157, I believe, $167, something like that. So not too bad. But one thing for sure, if you get into these cars, unless you have a lot of money to pour into maintenance, like for example, I got new brakes for it and things like that. I was quoted to do the brakes on this car. It's $1,800. All in, I got all good parts. I got Brembos, and this has the upgraded brakes, so the non-corrosion brakes. I got all parts for it for a little under $300. So I'm going to do it myself, and hopefully it will turn out awesome. Just the front brakes. The rotors are the size of a pizza box. They're insane. All right, so I'm going to close up the hood and see if everything's back to normal. Thank you. Okay, car's on ramps. Start this guy up. Love this car.
JD, you're a young guy.
Okay, we have no warning lights, which is great. I think everything still works. I'm going to go out and look and try turn signals, etc., just to make sure nothing came unplugged. Okay, everything seems to be working well. Awesomeness. Car's in lift mode. Put it back down in a minute. Okay, everything looks to be in order. Okay. Sounds good.